what I've heard about them as a couple is that they've been living separate lives for a very long time. So they together, but they live in separate.
Blue Ivy is not Jay-Z's child. Ty Smith is.
Seems like Terrence Howard is making a comeback. I mean, the guy used to be all over Hollywood, running the show like it was his personal playground. But lately, total radio silence. Dude's been off the grid. But guess who's resurfaced? Yep, Terrence is back and he's ready to spill some tea, especially when it comes to dishing dirt on the queen bee herself, Beyoncé. So here's the scoop. Rumors are flying that Terrence has some serious dirt on Beyoncé and Jay-Z. Word is, he's got the goods to prove that Beyoncé actually went ahead and filed for divorce from Jay-Z. I know, it's a shocker. I mean, we're talking about the ultimate power couple here, so what do you mean by divorce? It's a bit hard to wrap our heads around. But think about it, with all the gossip swirling around Jay-Z, maybe it's not all that far-fetched. And Terrence isn't stopping at the divorce rumors. Oh no, he's also dropping bombs claiming that Beyoncé once seduced him. Yeah, remember that viral video where Beyoncé had Terrence completely mesmerized? If you missed it, stick around because we're about to dive deep into all the juicy details. So, what's the deal with all these shocking claims Terrence is supposedly throwing around? Let's get into it. Now, we all know Beyoncé and Jay-Z are the epitome of a Hollywood power couple. But with the rumor mill churning out whispers of Beyoncé possibly filing for divorce from Jay-Z, it's not entirely out of left field. We've all heard the chatter about Jay-Z possibly being the next big name to be called out for some less than stellar actions. So, it's buzzing around that Beyoncé might be looking to distance herself to avoid any splashback. I mean, it's been suggested that Jay-Z's been kind of riding the wave of Beyoncé's positive press to keep himself out of the spotlight's harsher rays. But hold up, before we dive deeper into that pool of speculation, let's circle back to this whole seduction claim Terrence Howard's been hinting at, because apparently Beyoncé had him completely spellbound. So even before her iconic solo acts, Beyoncé was already turning heads as a member of the originally four-girl group, Destiny's Child. She's always K-ed on stage. This brings us to the drama that transpired between Beyoncé and Terrence. As a matter of fact, there was a time when she had literally taken Terrence Howard's breath away. Until now, fans can't stop talking about it. It was 16 years ago, yet the YouTube clip of that moment still gets comments to this day, pointing out the Empire actor's hilarious reaction to Queen Bey's presence. Back in 2004, Destiny's Child dropped their sultry R&B jam, Cater to You. And let me tell you, it was a hit among fans, especially the fellas. I mean, the song's all about these gorgeous girls pledging to serve up some serious TLC to their men whenever they please. Fast forward 17 years though, and it's a whole different story. Folks are trying to cancel the tune, calling out its lyrics for being, well, not exactly progressive when it comes to women. Particularly lines like, "My life would be purposeless without you," and "When you come home late, tap me on my shoulder, I'll roll over," aren't sitting well with the crowd these days. But rewind to 2005 and things were a whole lot different. Remember when Destiny's Child slayed the stage with Cater to You at the BET Awards? Those girls were on fire, dressed to the nines in elegant nude brown dresses that hugged every curve. And don't even get me started on Beyoncé. Folks were straight up mesmerized by her beauty, with YouTube commentators still swooning over her looks to this day. Now here's where things get juicy. The girls were looking for 3 lucky dudes to join them on stage for a little catering special. And who does Beyoncé pick? None other than Terrence Howard, who happened to be sitting right next to her parents. At first, Howard was all smiles, but as the performance went on, his expression shifted. It's like he became totally hypnotized by Beyoncé's performance. So after the performance, fans started buzzing with speculation about what's really going on between them. I mean, Beyoncé was very much with Jay-Z at the time, but that didn't stop people from thinking maybe she was sending signals, possibly looking for a way out of her marriage. And with all these whispers about her planning an exit strategy, it kind of looked like she might have been scoping out her options. Then, there's this weird pattern that some folks couldn't help but notice. It's almost as if Jay-Z knew what was up. Like every time it seemed Beyoncé might be getting close to another guy, suddenly, that guy's career would hit a rough patch. Take, for instance, Terrence's career. Back in the early 2000s, he was on the brink of being the next big leading man. I mean, his Oscar-winning performance in Crash had everyone thinking he was about to take over Hollywood. Now zoom in on 2008. Terrence steps into the Marvel universe with Iron Man as Rhodey, and he's raking in that sweet cash. holding down a side gig while being the highest paid actor in the movie. But wait, fast forward to 2010 and bam, Don Cheadle swoops in as Rhodey in the Iron Man sequel. The plot thickens. Rumor has it Terrence got hit with a massive pay cut offer, like slashing it by 50% to 80% for Iron Man 2. But here's where things get interesting. Did he turn down the offer himself, or was there some behind-the-scenes drama? That, my friend, remains a mystery. Entertainment Weekly spilled some piping hot tea back in the day, suggesting Terrence might have had a bit of a temper issue, being a handful on set. Yeah, that doesn't sound right. Now, Terrence Howard wasn't the only one caught up in those swirling rumors about Beyoncé's alleged flings. Nope, Sean Paul's name got tossed into the mix too, especially after those whispers about him and Queen Bey hooking up. But just like with Terrence, it seems like once Beyoncé got what she needed from him, she left him in the dust while she and Jay-Z continued to shine. Rumor has it things got a bit icy between them after they shot the music video for their hit Baby Boy separately.
When I got there the night before the video shoot, I was told I'm not in any scene with her, which to me at the time, the way I was thinking about the video was totally different. I thought we were gonna kind of act something out.
But hold up, Sean Paul himself decided to set the record straight on why he stopped performing Baby Boy with Beyoncé, and whether there was any truth to those juicy rumors. During an interview with the Daily Beast, he spilled the beans on some of his favorite collaborations. First up, Busta Rhymes, because let's be real, who wouldn't want to work with Busta? Sean Paul talked about feeling like he leveled up musically by teaming up for tracks like Gimme the Light and Make It Clap. Then there's Rihanna, who he bonded with over their shared love for Jamaica during a tour. But when the topic of Beyoncé came up, Sean kept it real. He admitted they didn't exactly hang out, but he had mad respect for her music, and let's face it, her stunning look. So when Queen Bey reached out for a collab, Sean was all in. He thought they were gonna drop an R&B vibe, but it ended up being a dancehall banger. Despite the track's massive success, Sean Paul revealed he only got to perform it with Beyoncé 3 times, and that kind of bummed him out. So while chatting about the whole performance dynamic, Sean Paul dropped some real talk. He mentioned how some of his longtime crew suddenly became fans after just 3 performances with Beyoncé, which kind of blew his mind. He recalled one of those gigs being at Reggae Sunfest during the 2003 Rock the Mic tour. Now, Queen Bey wasn't on the tour every day, but she'd pop in on certain dates to do her thing, usually belting out Crazy in Love with Jay-Z. But here's where things take a weird turn. The second time Sean and Beyoncé were set to perform together, things got funky real quick. Sean was in LA doing his thing when he got word they were gonna link up for Baby Boy. So he rushes over, the crowd goes wild, but then something feels off. Despite him giving it his all, he couldn't feel the energy from the crowd, and that's when it hit him. Someone had messed with his mic. Backstage, his own crew was fuming, telling him they couldn't hear a word he was saying out there. Basically, his mic got straight up sabotaged. Now, the first time it happened, Sean brushed it off as a glitch, but when it happened again, yeah, he knew something fishy was going on. Sean had another performance lined up with Beyoncé, this time in Scotland for an MTV event. They did the whole rehearsal thing. Everything seemed smooth sailing. The plan was for Sean to pop up from under the stage, join Beyoncé at this big center stage surrounded by fire. Sounds pretty epic, right? Well, here's where things went left. When it was Sean's turn to spit his verse, the track went all wonky, looping the same part over and over. Sean's there like, what's the deal here? And that was the moment it clicked for him. Someone was trying to mess with his shine. Now here's where it gets juicy. Apparently after this debacle, Beyoncé decided to confront Sean about those pesky dating rumors because it was starting to mess with her rep. Remember the victim card we talked about? Exactly. But Sean's like, hold up, I knew Jay before you, and we were cool, so maybe me and him should chat first. But Beyoncé's team wasn't having it. They made it crystal clear they weren't going to be working with Sean anymore. Then there's the VMAs debacle. Beyoncé tells Sean they're going to rehearse for their performance, but then the day before the big show, Sean overhears someone else rehearsing Baby Boy. And surprise, surprise, when they check with the label, they're hit with the news. Beyoncé's flying solo for the performance. For Sean, it was not only awkward, but downright humiliating, especially having to sit through the show with his wife and other celebs asking why he wasn't up there. And when Sean finally clocked that there was some serious sabotage going on, he decided to cut his losses and bounce. Also, back when Destiny's Child was making waves, they bumped into NSYNC quite a bit at those swanky entertainment events. And word on the street was that Beyoncé and Justin Timberlake might have shared a steamy moment or two at one of those star-studded soirees. But hold up, because there's more. Remember the 2000 2000 MTV VMA Awards, Beyoncé and Sisqó showed up twinning in matching outfits, sparking rumors about their super close bond. They were practically inseparable, fueling speculation about just how tight they really were. And then there's Marques Houston. They go way back, like back to their teenage days before the fame train took off. Rumor had it they might have been more than just buddies, especially since Marques saw Beyoncé's star quality early on and wanted to team up with her. But according to him, they were strictly friends. Guess we'll never really know for sure. Oh, and let's not forget Pharrell Williams. Seems like they were pretty smitten with each other for a while there. Looks like Queen Bey had her fair share of love interests. And it's exactly this kind of buzz that's got everyone whispering about Beyoncé potentially hitting the off switch on her marriage with Jay-Z.
But what I've heard about them as a couple is that they've been living separate lives for a very long time. So they together, but they living separate.
Also, some folks are saying maybe Beyoncé wasn't calling all the shots in these relationships. Maybe Jay-Z's influence played a bigger role than we realize. I mean, they go way back, right? Maybe his control over her from a young age pushed her to explore with other guys. And there's also talk about him controlling her. Could he be the real culprit behind all this drama? Let's rewind to the year 2000. Not much deets about how they first met, but Beyoncé spilled the beans that it happened when she was just 18. Picture this. They're sitting next to each other on a plane, both at the 2000 MTV Spring Break Music Festival. Jay-Z even dropped a reference to that moment in one of his songs. In the song, Everything Is Love, he sings, "We played it cool at the pool of the Cancun VMA. Confidence you exude, make the fools stay away. Fate had me sitting next to you on the plane and I knew straight away." So maybe it was a bit of love at first sight, but hold up. They didn't spill the relationship tea until 4 years later at the MTV Video Music Awards. Maybe they waited those 4 years to let Beyoncé age a bit before making it public, because some folks side-eye the fact that Jay-Z got involved with her when she was 18, and he's a solid 12 years older. While their 12-year age gap might not be such a big deal for many couples, but the fact that they first met when she was a fresh 18-year-old and he was 30 puts a pretty hefty weird stamp on their relationship. Age stuff aside, some folks have been pointing out the power dynamics right from the get-go. Beyoncé was already a big deal, but Jay-Z was this industry heavyweight with way more power and influence. This mix of age and power has got people questioning how consensual and ethical their relationship was at the start. All right, fast forward a bit. After 4 years of public dating in 2008, bam, secret wedding ceremony. We didn't even know they were engaged, let alone tying the knot. And as much as we'd love a perfect love story, reality's a bit messier. You've probably heard the scoop, Jay-Z's famous for cheating on Beyoncé. In 2012, after Blue Ivy came into the scene 2 years later, it's trouble in paradise after that infamous elevator showdown between Solange and Jay-Z. Lots of folks thought the whole drama hinted at Jay possibly stepping out on Beyoncé. In the footage, you see Solange going off on the rapper, hitting and kicking him while what looks like a security guy tries to keep her in check. And at one time, Beyoncé steps in to play referee between her husband and sister. Things got so heated that when they hopped in the elevator, it went from 0 to 100 real quick. It's a pretty intense moment. 10 days after the incident, the trio released a joint statement addressing the drama, saying, "As a result of the public release of the elevator security footage from Monday, May 5th, there has been a great deal of speculation about what triggered the unfortunate incident. But the most important thing is that our family has worked through it," they said in a statement to the Associated Press. Jay and Solange each assume their share of responsibility for what has occurred. They both acknowledge their role in this private matter that has played out in the public. They both have apologized to each other, and we have moved forward as a united family. The statement continued, "The reports of Solange being intoxicated or displaying erratic behavior throughout that evening are simply false. At the end of the day, families have problems and we're no different. We love each other, and above all, we are family. We've put this behind us and hope everyone else will do the same. But let's be real. We've seen family spats, but nothing quite like this. Anybody else witnessed family drama that hit this level?" So by 2016, Beyoncé's fans were already getting the vibe that something's up in her and Jay-Z's world, especially after that elevator drama with Solange. Then comes the bombshell. Beyoncé drops her album, Lemonade. Now, two songs, Hold Up and Sorry, start pointing fingers at Jay-Z for possibly straying. She's throwing lines like, he only wants me when I'm not there. He better call Becky with the good hair. And oh boy, the Bayhive went into detective mode trying to figure out who this Becky was. Turns out it's more of a name for all the women in general, not just one specific person. Rumors about Beyoncé and Jay-Z's rocky marriage had been swirling since 2014, and the gossip kept going strong in 2015 and 2016. Then bam, we get this album with all these lyrics, and it's like a spotlight on the cracks in their relationship. Enter Rachel Roy, the ex-wife of Jay-Z's former friend and business partner Damon Dash, posting stuff on Instagram that had people thinking it was a nod to Beyoncé. She said, "Good hair, don't care, but we will take good lighting for selfies or self-truths." And just like that, people went on the attack thinking she's the infamous Becky. Beyoncé fans flooded her socials with bee and lemon emojis, and let's just say you don't want to be on the wrong side when it comes to the Bayhive. Rachel was definitely feeling the heat. It's like walking into the lion's den with that crowd. Also, some eagle-eyed internet sleuths dug up some receipts suggesting that Jay-Z was allegedly dating Foxy Brown when she was just a tender 15 years old, all while promising her the Hollywood dream. Sound familiar? Yeah, kinda like what Diddy allegedly did with Cassie when she was barely 19. And adding fuel to the fire, blogger Storm Monroe chimed in, hinting at some major exposés in the works. But that's not all. There were also rumors flying around that Jay-Z got Foxy Brown to sign some super secret agreements after a supposed steamy encounter involving her, Jamie Foxx, and Jay-Z. Yeah, a rumored threesome. But hold on, it gets crazier. Right after this alleged rendezvous, a supposed video of the whole thing mysteriously disappeared from Foxy's spot. Now, some folks are side-eyeing Jay-Z, thinking he might have had a hand in making that tape vanish into thin air. According to Storm, once the industry powers that be are done with Diddy, Jay-Z's next in line to face the music. He's hinting at some shady stuff Jay allegedly got into over the years that the public isn't going to be too thrilled about. He also talked about Jay-Z's past collaborations with R. Kelly and how good PR and a tight grip on the industry can work wonders in keeping skeletons firmly locked in the closet.
After they are done with Diddy, Jay-Z is up next to be exposed, right? For some reason, y'all like to conveniently forget what age Foxy Brown was when he was with her. Y'all like to forget that he was rolling with R. Kelly and they was doing a lot of things together.
And let's not forget how Beyoncé's alleged former bodyguard, Uncle Ron, went all out on TikTok, dropping some wild allegations about the power couple. Now, who's this Uncle Ron guy, you ask? He used to be a bodyguard for a bunch of celebs, and there are some pics floating around of him with Beyoncé, but the deets on their personal relationship are a bit hazy. Anyhow, he's making some bold claims, like saying Jay-Z and Beyoncé secretly schemed to mess up R&B artist Carrie Hilson's career after she said something about Queen Bey. Then he hits with the bombshell. He's claiming Jay-Z's been and controlling Beyoncé for years, saying their relationship is more business than romance.
Your relationship was a business relationship, financial, to get to the top, to become billionaires, man. Yeah, Beyonce's on. She's been on them for a long time, and you keep her that way.
Now, he didn't really come with the receipts, just a bunch of words. However, if it was just him spinning this tale about Beyoncé being on, you might brush it off. But guess what? He's not flying solo on this one. Cultural commentator Jaguar Wright jumped into the mix, straight up calling Jay-Z a monster who's got Beyoncé up to control her. Now, I gotta say, some fans have got some PTSD from the whole Britney situation, where celebrities end up with everyone and their cousin controlling their lives. And to add a twist to the plot, there's this viral clip of Beyoncé looking kinda dead-eyed and swaying at a basketball game with Jay-Z. People were throwing around ideas that she might be on something, or just super exhausted. The swaying wasn't exactly a good look. Maybe it's some kind of who knows? And then there are the whispers about Jay-Z having a serious drinking problem. And some say Beyoncé might be scared of him because he could potentially get physical. Now, this is a tough one for people to swallow, considering Jay-Z has a history of letting his anger get the best of him. Back in '99, during Q-Tip's release party, he got into it with producer Lance Rivera, and things got real ugly real quick. Jay-Z pulled out an 8-inch knife and stabbed the guy. His bodyguards even joined in, beating the producer with champagne bottles until the cops showed up. Jay pleaded guilty, got bailed out at $50,000, and spent 3 years on probation. Now, what really made these divorce rumors start going around all over again was when Jay defended Beyoncé against the Grammys, calling out their failure to recognize her with Album of the Year despite her hustle and hard work. And a ton of folks were nodding in agreement, giving Jay props for standing up for his queen. But here's where it gets juicy. Did anyone catch Beyoncé's reaction? Apparently, she looked more than a little uncomfortable and annoyed. And when Jay referred to her as this young lady instead of using her name, well, that sent off major alarm bells. And this is reportedly why Beyoncé's pushing out her hair care products and cranking out a new album at record speed. And while sure, the rollout was in the works, it seems she's fast-tracking things to stack up some serious cash before Jay-Z's alleged shady dealings with Diddy hit the fan. Blogger Storm and Rose chiming in, confirming that Beyoncé's well aware of the storm on the horizon, and she's hustling to stay ahead of it all. Word on the street is they're already living separate lives, and we might just be on the brink of witnessing one of the biggest Hollywood divorces yet, because Jay-Z is reportedly next in line to have his skeletons rattled out of the closet.
Part of the reason why they're already living separate lives, and we may actually see one of the biggest divorces in Hollywood, is because Jay-Z is up next to be exposed. He won't be able to stop this, and she knows it, and he knows it too.
Now, what happens next? Well, according to Storm, it's going to be a whirlwind. Once Jay-Z's exposed for his murky past, we could very well see Beyoncé filing for divorce. And while she might not spill all the tea in an interview, you can bet their publicist's going to whip up some PR magic, painting a picture of a couple who've drifted apart but built a beautiful life together. Well, it looks like Terrence might actually have some inside info on what's going down between Beyoncé and Jay-Z. And who knows, as time ticks on, we might just get served even more piping hot tea on the situation. But hey, what's your take on all of this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll catch you in the next video.